Hello, hello, Charles Van Morgan Show. It is Monday morning. Welcome, welcome. We're getting ready to pass a predictive place where you can pretty much predict, just like you can a lot of human behavior from a sociological standpoint. We're getting ready to pass the morning rooster crow. Let's see if it crows this morning. I think that it will. But Charles Van Morgan Show, we got a lot to cover today, and got a great show for you today. This show is about Satterfatter. Capt Satterfatter is what I call her. There the rooster goes. I told you every morning. Listen to it. Well, it crowed one time. It did, I promise. I'm not lying. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Charles Van Morgan Show. Thank y'all. Come on in. Join me. We have a great show for you today. Going to talk about Capt Satterfatter, about a captain with the THPP, lies under oath. And there's a rooster. You can hear it. Predictive behavior. Charles Van Morgan Show. Come on in. Got a great show for you today. Monday morning. Charles Van Morgan. We're going to talk about people in power corruption. We're going to talk about in black and white. Capt Satterfatter of the THPP. Hey, how she lies, robs, cheats, and steals. So yeah. Great show for you today. Come on board. Come on board. We're on our way downtown, and we're going to show you in black and white. Her name was Captain Sanders, but I call her Satterfatter because she's fat, overweight. It's not defamation, it's true. Fat, overweight, and smokes cigarettes. And she made her captain decisions about which way to turn the boat outside the highway patrol post by a garage, because you can't smoke in the building, although they did sometimes anyway. With then Sergeant of the highway patrol, Sergeant Heatherly, now a major because you get promoted for lying. We're going to show you in black and white. They made their decision to try to get rid of me, even though Sergeant Heatherly wasn't my supervisor at the time. They made the decision to terminate me at the garage outside the highway patrol post, gossiping, yeah, and by a garage smoking cigarettes. Satterfatter and drunk Heatherly. And for lying for the highway patrol, you get a promotion. So we're going to show you in black and white. Going to talk about Captain Satterfatter. It's what I call her. And remember, it's not defamation if it's true. Defamation is like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you like the show. It's pretty blatantly truthful. So defamation is false communications disseminated to at least a third person that tends to lower the person in the stand of the community. It's unprivileged false communication. So it is not defamation if it's true. You can disseminate truthful information that tends to lower somebody in the stand of the community. You sure can. So that's what I'm doing. I'm disseminating truthful information that lowers them in the stand of the community, where they should be. They should be in jail. And we're good people. When we put them in jail and flip the script, we'll give them a Bible in jail where they can sit and read a Bible. So yeah. Okay, let's see. The four little starts. I don't know. Defamation is extremely hard to prove. You're not going to find a lawyer to take that case. Well, even if they do, I'll defend myself because I got a law degree, and I'm not licensed to practice law because they like to regulate who practices law so that they can only get people to practice law that do what they want them to do. The government tells you who can practice law and who can't, so you'll back up the government. But I can defend myself. So like, share, comment. Man, we already got almost 100 people in here. So Charles Van Morgan Show, we're going to talk about Satterfatter. Isn't defamation? Yeah, pretty much. But we're going to talk about Satterfatter, black and white, show you government crimes. And we're going to talk about a few. So here we go. We're going to talk about a few things in the news and what we can do about all this stuff. What's the point about all this stuff? And we'll explain to you about what we're trying to do. So we're going to talk about Satterfatter, but first we're going to talk about some stories in the news. The explosion in Middle Tennessee at the munitions factory. Now, obviously, something went bad wrong. It blew the whole factory off the planet there in Middle Tennessee. It's about 40 minutes outside of Nashville. They had an accident there in 2014. They call it an accident. Something happened, and it killed one person. At least one person in 2014. But they've had another incident at a munitions factory. They make munitions, ammunition and stuff, or even for the military. And they had an explosion where it blew the whole factory off the planet. Blew debris 2 miles away. You could hear it from miles and miles away. And they're investigating that now. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. Some stuff you need to be aware of that I point out that nobody else will tell you but me. You want to hear the truth like this, Unbridled news, from anywhere else except the Charles Van Morgan Show. Because I like to fight evil, and I've been doing it all my life since I was a little boy. I grew up fatherless. My dad was killed before I was 2 years old, so I learned how to fight for myself. I learned combat techniques. Now, we're not fighting them with bullets. It's a political fight, and they're the ones that started it. They started it, so they drew first blood, and we're not going to draw blood. Like I said, it's a political fight. That's just a symbol, but we're going to fight them back and tell the truth. And you want to hear this truth anywhere else except for Charles Van Morgan Show. No one else tells the full news. They're all operated, dominated corporations, corpse news, and they lie to you about stuff. They don't tell you the story. You won't know what actually happened in the news unless you were actually there and you talk to witnesses yourself and see what happened, or you've seen it with your own eyes. Otherwise, it may or may not be true, and 9 times out of 10, it's not true what the news media is trying to tell you. I'm talking about the explosion out in West Tennessee. And they're not telling you what happened yet. They probably already know what happened yet, but they're not telling you because they claim they don't want a biased investigation, which I get that. Wait till all the facts come out, but give us a little indication of what you already know, just to say this might be the case. You know, be open and transparent to the public, but they're not going to be open and transparent. They're going to figure out how that explosion that killed 16 people will benefit them and keep them in power and benefit their narrative. And then they're going to go with that narrative. No matter what the truth is, it doesn't matter about the damn truth. See, that's what people know, but they're afraid to say. The truth doesn't matter to these people in government power. It matters nil, none, zero. The truth is something that they have to lie about to overcome, to tell the narrative that they want to tell you that benefits them. So they'll tell you whatever they want to tell you that benefits them in an explosion. It doesn't matter if people have died. They don't care about that. So that explosion killed 16 people, blew the factory off the planet, a munitions factory. Now that has happened in other countries before. Obviously a dangerous environment because it's explosives, but explosives travel up and down the interstate all day long, every day, all over the United States of America. And they should, and by law they have to take precautions in a munitions factory. If an accident happens in one part of the munitions factory, then I'm sure from emergency management they've got measures to barricade one section off where it doesn't blow the whole munitions factory off the planet. And that in that case, if there was barriers set up where one explosion would protect, that barrier set up where it would protect the whole factory, the barrier didn't work, right? So what the hell happened that blew the factory off the planet, killed 16 people? Now they had a press conference Saturday talking about with a sheriff and in that county in Middle Tennessee, a little further west of Nashville. I think it's Hickman County. And another sheriff from a neighboring county talking about what they were doing. They had the area roped off. It's right at Buck Snort, Tennessee. Now, when I campaigned, I had a campaign sign out there at the gas station where you get off the interstate there. So I've been out there. Haven't been to the munitions factory. But they were giving a press conference. And one alarming detail to me that stood out, and you can take this for whatever it's worth, but about a biased investigation, because I'm getting ready to go into how biased Satterfatter was. You know, smoking cigarettes out by the garage at the THP post with a sergeant wasn't even over my shift talking about my case and watching the video, you know, like you know, I mean, that's real professional, THPP. But we'll talk about that. But right now, the whole thing blew off the planet. So why'd that happen? I mean, what the hell happened? It was either an accident, maybe somebody went in there drunk and did something stupid, and but still they should have had barriers set up to where one part of the facility, they know they got explosives, doesn't cause such a reaction that it blows the whole thing up. And I'm sure they did. So something catastrophic happened. We do know 16 people were killed. We do know that something catastrophic happened. What it is, they don't know. Now, I have some things that it's one of several things. Somebody stupid, somebody drunk or something did something stupid. And they should have a method of checking people that come into the factory to make sure they're not under the influence. I mean, they got munitions, explosives, it's kind of dangerous. Did they not have a system to checking people, make sure they're sober when they're coming in? And I'm not saying that's what happened, but they should have protected themselves if it was an accidental, somebody stupid, drunk did something. Now, somebody sober could have accidentally made a mistake and it did something that caused an explosion. But still, it shouldn't have blew the whole factory off the planet. I mean, it should be quarantined off where an explosion in this area won't affect the whole area. So something catastrophic happened. That should not have happened. Shouldn't have happened. I mean, pre-planning will tell you this is a munitions factory. We know these are dangerous. Factories have been blown up in other countries. And if there's an explosion in this part, we got barriers set up where it won't get in another part. So, I mean, it could happen. That stuff got through the barriers. So that's a possibility. And it's possible that somebody could have made a mistake, did something stone cold sober, or even bad equipment that caused it. And all that's possible. But let me throw you a few other scenarios that are, quite frankly, a little more alarming. Just so you throw that in the mix, because if it doesn't suit THP's narrative, if it doesn't fit the governor's narrative, even if it's truth, people died, they don't care. They're going to tell you what they want you to think, even if it's a bold lie. That's why they got the area cordoned off. People think it's because it's a crime scene. No, it's so nobody can't get in and determine the truth. That's what it's about. News reporters aren't allowed in. And, you know, they could report stuff and live on the scene. Sometimes stuff leaks out anyway. But you won't get the truth from anywhere else except for an unbridled reporter like me that knows how they operate, knows their modus operandi, which is to frame a story that benefits them, that keeps them in power. Now, that's the angle that I have that is a truthful angle. If you don't agree with it, then you think whatever you want to, which is fine. The marketplace of ideals. I'm just telling you what I think based on education, doctor of jurisprudence, a master of arts in sociology, a bachelor of science in business, and an associate degree in business, where that I know how to type real fast, which is kind of outdated now, but an educated perspective. So somebody did something stupid because they were drunk, maybe, or maybe equipment failure, or maybe the extreme possibility, since it was so catastrophic, that they may not tell you, is could have been possibly a terrorist attack. I mean, that factory provided ammunition for the military, the people in foreign countries, and terrorists, and even people in the United States that are deploying partly the military, the National Guard throughout cities all across the United States of America that has ammunition. So maybe somebody's trying to send the federal government an illicit message. Don't get rid of illegal aliens, we'll blow your factories off the planet. Possibility, I'm not saying that happened. Are they going to report that if it's the truth? I don't know. That's a possibility. Terrorists. Because of the magnitude of the explosion, because of the devastation of the explosion, it could have been pre-planned where people knew what they were doing to blow the whole thing up. So it could have been terrorism. What do y'all think? You think it was terrorism? And there are a few other possibilities. We'll go into that. Thank y'all for joining me. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about Satterfatter. And then we'll talk about what we can do about this stuff. Charles Van Morgan. We're broadcasting now in the morning. We'll broadcast live from news sites all across the state of Tennessee, all across the nation if need be in the future. If you will fund this Unbridled news program, we will unpack, and shed a light on their conspiracy theory news. Because a lot of their news, a lot of their government opinions, a lot of their findings and investigations are fake conspiracy theories that never happened to support the elite, to support the establishment. That's my lens. I know they do that because of education and life lived experience. And one of the alarming things about that incident, when they did that press conference with the sheriff and with the two sheriffs, and they had a Tennessee state trooper, captain I think, standing behind them in the press conference. That automatically, to me, puts a red flag and tanks the whole investigation, because I know for sure the Highway Patrol lies. Their investigations are flawed. Now, I didn't do that to them. Me saying that, I didn't do that to them. It's not a conspiracy theory. They did that to themselves by lying in investigations, coming to conclusions that are fake, false, set up. So that automatically tells me, and I'm not saying you shouldn't believe the results of their investigation. I'm just saying be highly suspicious, red flag. THP is there on the scene, maybe involved in the investigation, and they might twist it to any way they see dirty fit, to spin it to where it makes them look good, stepping over 16 bodies, not telling you the truth, not trying to come to a rational conclusion about the real reason it happened so that we can prevent it in the future, to try to come to a conclusion that makes them look great and good and benefits them. They might get a few more officers out of it to guard the governor. So when you look at that interview with the sheriff, and he seems sincere to me, he's pretty heartbroken. I am too. I pray for the families of the victims of that. But it does no good for the victims and the family and for people all across the United States, people all across Tennessee, to facilitate a lie and not get to the bottom of what happened so that we can prevent it in the future. And THP will not try to prevent it in the future. So that's a red flag. That's the first thing that stuck out to me. They got a THP officer on the scene in the background of the press conference. Lie. Be suspicious of the investigation. I'm not doing that to them. They did that to themselves by lying. I mean, when somebody lies and then they're at a scene where they're investigating something else and you want to come to the truth, somebody else that's pointing to that the liar's on the scene, they're not doing that to them. The liar did that to themselves by lying. So if they want to have more appearance of legitimacy, quit lying, because you're going to have people like me that are going to point out your damn lies. And they're so obviously blatant. And they really don't care because they got a gun and they'll stick it in your face and force you to go along with the lie. But we're not going along. We're not going to take it. So thank y'all for joining me. We're going to talk about the possible reasons for that explosion. There's only a few. I mean, we know it blew up. We know it killed 16 people. We know it was catastrophic. We know they had a press conference with THPP in the background. That's a signal on the scene evidence after the fact. You may not get an unbiased investigation. You may never hear the truth about what happened. It may be helping THPP and their lies. They did that to themselves. A captain's in the background of that press conference. Anywhere you see a member of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, think of corruption. And I'm not doing that to them. They did it to themselves. They need to clean house. They need to straighten up their lies. And I'm about to show you a lie from Satterfatter. So let's see how many people we got in here. God bless you all, I pray. Thank you for joining. The highest we've had on here is 43,000 people. Let's break this by. Let's get a couple million people to listen to the truth about the Tennessee government. I'm putting myself at risk to put this stuff out here. So honor me with respect due. I was putting myself at risk in the pursuit I was in that ultimately put me in this situation. I was protecting lives and doing something risky. I'm doing something risky now in pursuit of dirty people in government power. And hopefully they'll stop before they hit the tree. I don't know. I pray that they do. But whatever they do, it's on them. It's on them. So public attention will protect me. And we'll mention a little bit about my concern about my safety and what you all can do to help. So contribute to Charles Van Morgan Unbridled News, the truth you won't hear anywhere, in black and white, shown right in front of you, right side by side, about government lies. And then I'll tell you at the end what we can do about it. So Charles Van Morgan broadcasting live in the morning like we normally do, but we might also, breaking news happens, we can get to it, go to the scene, talk to people on the scene and see what they got to say. That's how you can get more of the truth than anywhere. You can't listen to the court news. You can't listen to official investigations. They lie, lie, lie. You all know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But we will tell you, I will tell you the truth. I got no iron in the fire except for the lens that I look at it. And I'm being truthful about the lens that I look at it through. I look at it through a doctor of jurisprudence, a law degree, passed the bar twice. They won't give me my law license because I tell the truth while they're lying to you. That's not conjecture, that's fact. I have a Master of Arts in Sociology, the emphasis in criminology, from their great university. That's knowledge that's not just learned here in Knoxville, that's worldwide knowledge, universal, beyond country borders, knowledge of science that's been gained for hundreds of years, the emphasis in criminology. So I know about crimes of the privileged. You know, they like to say all the poor people did the crimes and all the rich people are saints, and they make laws to incriminate and punish poor people while they make it legal for them to rob your purse. They make it legal for them to rape, rob, murder, and steal as long as you're privileged and powerful. It's about who's your daddy. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And I also have a business degree and a associate degree. And I'm coming to you from a life lived. I'm not a 20-year-old kid that is influenced more by public pressure, according to studies, than older people are. So I'm just saying, if you're a young person, hey, that's great. You got your whole life ahead of you. Beware. Don't let the government falsely influence you. You know, our parents in the 60s stood up against the government for right reasons and made things better. And I'm not saying the government always lies about everything. There's some good people in the government. But most of them, and the system is rigged in their favor. Pay attention to what they're doing. Peacefully fight it at the voting booth. So, let's see how many people got in here. And then we'll continue the dialogue about the explosion in Middle Tennessee at the munitions factory. Talk about possible reasons, and then we'll talk about Satterfatter. Come on in. Thanks for joining me. We're going to put it down in black and white truth. Let's see what y'all got to comment about. Let's see here. So, yeah, we got 185 people. And let's turn this around. Let's see. Dean Tucker Band said hi. Audio is terrible. Okay, I'll speak up. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not sorry about that. I'm sorry that you're whatever you're listening to doesn't have a good speaker to transport my voice. But I'll speak up. And let's see here. A lifelong small town Tennessee resident. Sir, did you not think we already know the law is crooked as hell. Yes, Joshua Gann. Yes, I do. I know you know. I'm just here to point it out, and so we can all get on the bandwagon and not fall off, because they're so good at their lies. Some people fall off the wagon. So some people drink the Kool-Aid. And I'm trying to tell you, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Remember? So yeah, Joshua Gann, that's right. RV, I really respect your courage. Thank you. Joe Anthony Biles, UNC, go home. Bro, just need someone to talk to. No, well, yeah. And University of Tennessee, go LSU. No, go Vols. I disagree with you. Ray Hunter said, hi. Latin America is also poor countries. They finally silence us. Yeah, thank you all for joining in. So we got a lot of people in here. Let's turn around and finish the dialogue. Thank you all so very much. Like, share, comment, contribute if you can. And let's get this message statewide. And let's get this message nationwide. Charles Van Morgan, broadcasting now in the morning. We usually do. Join us every morning. We are fighting peacefully. They're not peaceful. They're violent people. People in government power, rogue, crooked people, nasty, stingy people in government power, telling the truth about them from our lens. So that explosion at the munitions factory, catastrophic. We know that. 16 people dead. Horrible. 16 people went to work to earn a living. And the government failed. Systems failed. Somebody failed. I believe they lost their lives. And so let's have a moment or two of silence for the victims and the victim's family. And if you're a Christian, pray to God through the Lord Jesus Christ that he will help that family in that county and the victims' families. And let's have a moment of silence for those people in Middle Tennessee at the munitions factory. Lord, help those people in Jesus' name, the victims' families. And so something catastrophic happened and blew it off the planet. They won't tell you. They're not telling you what happened. A state trooper in the background in the news conference tells you, biased investigation, liars are on the scene. Every time you see a state trooper uniform, and not all of them are liars, just be aware that liars are on the scene, because even if the trooper tells the truth, it gets switched around the higher up you go through the chain of command, because they get promoted for lying, for being dishonest. You think the higher you go at the top, the more honest. No, and I'll show you some pictures of troopers that have killed people and show you what it says in the news. And it depends on what they want to sell you. It depends on who's your daddy. You won't hear that anywhere else. But the thing is that people in the Highway Patrol, a lot of them know me, and a lot of them have retired since I worked there. But a lot of them will tell you, they paint me to be a coward. They'd be like, no, don't mess with him. Don't do that. He's not a coward. You got bad data. If you mess with him and try to hurt him illegally, illegitimately, if you want to arrest him, you got charges. He's going to go peacefully. But if you try to hurt him to make a name for yourself, to get a promotion, which is what Captain Heatherly would do, she would try to have you hurt me to get a promotion, then you're going to get, it won't work out well for you. You know, I think of toe tags that don't have my name on it. I think of we're talking about self-defense, or you doing something in the process trying to hurt me that gets yourself hurt. They'll name a street after you. Your family will miss you. Leave me alone. Let me speak. You can stand up right beside me on the sidewalk and say I'm lying. Point a finger at me. Do not try to hurt me. Don't do it. That's your warning. I'm just saying, what I'm doing is highly dangerous. Stand up against people in power. You say, well, this ain't Rusty. What you got to worry about? I got to worry a lot, because they're the same way. They're just a little bit more snakes, a little bit more stingy about what they do. My life's very much in danger for speaking the truth to power. I'm not court news, but people will tell you in the Highway Patrol, don't mess with him. Leave him alone. Let him speak. He's got a right in the United States. he doesn't promote violence, but don't try to hurt him. It won't work out well for you. So I'm just saying, listen to me, I'll tell you the truth. Nobody else will say this, puts their life at risk. Why am I doing it? I've always been drawn to fight evil and been very successful at it. And that's just my forte. That's just my calling. When God tells me to shut up, I will. And you all pray. Pray for me that God leads me and guides me, and pray for my protection. We'll get into talking about measures that y'all can do to protect me toward the end of the show, if I survive that far. All these road people that fly up and down the sidewalk at a high rate of speed on motorized vehicles that come from behind, inches from you, is another danger, a very real one. So the munitions explosion could have been terrorist attack, because it's military munitions that they were making. As a message about the military, National Guard in a lot of cities fighting crime, and also ICE getting rid of illegal aliens. So it could be an attack on America through blowing up a munitions factory. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying that is a possibility. None of the other news channels will tell you that. That's a possibility. Could be a terrorist attack for whatever message terrorists want to send. The main message they want to send is fear. They want people to fear so that they back off what you're doing legitimately in the government. I believe legitimately in the government right now. If you have the opposing view, then say it. But I believe legitimately right now in the government that our president lawfully and justifiably is deploying National Guard to different cities to cut down on crime. Who in their right mind, except some psycho, would object to having less murders in a city and going out and being able to drive to McDonald's or being able to drive to work or being able to drive wherever you go to with less threat of being murdered, because you got the National Guard walking around looking for people, shooting at people, and will stop them, risking their life so you can drive down the road safety. Who in their right mind would object to that? Washington, D.C. is a safer place now because of our president. I don't care what president it was. If it would have been Joe Biden that did that to make the community safer, I would agree with that. You see the pushback against measures to make the community safer? I mean, everybody hates cops. People think I do. I don't hate cops. No, absolutely not. I love the peacemakers. God loves the peacemakers. Cops, I have every bit of respect for you. I don't have respect for the hierarchy and the way the organizations are run at the top. But that's not a squabble with the officers that work the bottom when they do right. And a lot of them do every day, put on their uniform, their badge and gun, go out and protect society. You have so many of these people, these lawyers and stuff on these YouTube channels. They just slaughter cops. Everything they do is on video, and they rig things up and run down police. That's not me. I'm a truth teller. When they're right, I'll tell you they're right. When they're right and it looks like they're wrong, I'll tell you, let me explain that video. It's not what it appears. They won't do that. They sell a lot of videos, make millions of videos that people watch off telling people hate cops. They're dirty all the way around. Wait till you need one. Wait till you need one. And then while you're calling them, say they're dirty. Everybody hates cops till you need one. I mean, really. So I'm not a cop hater. Some of them are bad and they need to be called out. Satterfatter, the one that's at the top, needs to be called out. So maybe it was a statement by terrorists to, you're not deporting people. We've invaded your country and we're going to stay. Maybe it was a terrorist attack. Send the message, and the message will be clear if they do a proper investigation. Maybe it will be, maybe it's a message that you're not sending the National Guard to cities to reduce crime all across the United States. You're not allowed to protect yourself. We run your cities. Get your National Guard out. It was a munitions plant that supplies the military. So it was a strategic location for a terrorist to attack. And we don't know what the message is. If it was, in fact, a terrorist attack, they will put out a message, but the news and the state troopers at the scene and official channels might not tell you that it was even a terrorist attack when it was. I don't know. If we get any word that it was, we'll put it out. I'm just giving you the possible causes. There's only one of several. I mean, it's like science. You can go through, it might be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or the building's still there, 5, and the building's not there, so it's not 5. So, it could have been, the first one I mentioned is somebody intoxicated that they should have been able to catch. The second one was maybe it was equipment failure, but that should have been mitigated by the walling off certain areas where one incident isn't catastrophic. What happened to that? It could be suit crime, where these people are more concerned about money, like the chicken factory in North Carolina that killed people because they closed the exits and didn't have proper fire extinguisher alarm system measures in the 80s. So it could be white collar crime that they didn't have, and when you have something that catastrophic, it points to probably white collar crime, or probably points to a terrorist attack on this nation, on this country, that the official channels and the government with THP may or may not tell you. So, but I'm just telling you, keep that in mind. Or it could be somebody just made a mistake and the munition got through the barrier and caused something catastrophic. Now that is possible. That's very possible. We don't know. I know they're doing an investigation. I'm just saying, be very skeptical with their narrative, what they tell you. They got the scene roped off. You can't have reporters on the scene telling you what the hell happened. And I thought about going out there and interviewing people in the area and talking to them, doing news up close and personal, but we don't have the money right now to do that. So if you want real news up close and personal, where we can talk to witnesses on the scene, get their take on it. And I had a campaign sign at that gas station that's just a few feet from where it blew up, maybe a mile. Then fund the channel and we'll travel to the scene. Right now we got to work another job. Unbridled news, and we'll tell you what we think really happened on the scene. We are just giving you the options. It's got to be one of those things. So let's get into the narrative, talk about Satterfatter, why you can't trust THP. They're in the background there at that news conference with a red flag. Anytime you see a Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper, especially a supervisor, that was a captain, I think, then be very leery of what they say about anything that goes on in that location, about any narrative that they put out, because they lie. They're as crooked as a dog's hind leg. So whatever they say may be the truth. There's a high likelihood that it is absolutely not the truth. Supports a narrative that helps them, has nothing to do with the sadness of 16 people getting killed and preventing it from happening in the future. I'm telling you, from personal experience, I've seen it with my own eyes. You can't tell me different, I've seen it. Now they'll gaslight you and say, what you actually just seen wasn't what actually just happened. And what a witness also that verified saw what you seen wasn't exactly what happened. Now that's what they do. And then they put it out in the newspapers, the lie, and then they tell all the courts. Then they tell everybody else in the department, you want promoted, you go along with this lie. We don't care about the bodies or preventing, you go along with the lie. That's what THP will do. Now, I'm not doing that to them. You say, why are you doing that? Why are you saying that about them? They did that to themselves. I'm just shining a light on it, like a bunch of rats that are feeding in a feeding frenzy. You shine a light on it and they go running. So, listen to me. I'm not doing anything to anybody. I'm shining the light on what they're doing. It's what I'm doing for you, because I care about people and their lives. And my history demonstrates it. Although they try to destroy my credibility with their lies, I'm more credible than they ever dreamed of being. I'm credible enough to say stuff where they'll try to attack me. So let's read a few comments. Thank you all for showing up. God bless you all, I pray. And we will go along with, continue the dialogue and talk about Satterfatter, former retired major. She told some big whoppers, got promoted offline. Wow, isn't that amazing? The higher in the top, the more lies you get, the more dishonest they are. I'm telling you, that's how it works. You facilitate their lies, step over the 16 bodies, step over the bodies in the state of Tennessee like this, and all step over the bodies, and you stench all the way to the top. How you doing, Satterfatter? Yeah, I'm out here 13 years later. When you start a fight, you might want to go to the fruition and finish it because you didn't get it done. I'm still here standing, protecting society. I'm just protecting them, not from what I was when I worked under you. I'm protecting them from you. Yeah, to about 500,000 people right now, Satterfatter. Yeah. So in the past month, we've got about 500,000 people listening to us. Why are they listening? It ain't because I'm so damn eloquent and such a genius. It's because I got something they'll never have. It's called TRUTH, and they need to get it because we're going to give it to them. I could care less what they say, but I listen to what they say because I use their own lies against them because it's easy to disprove. So we'll talk about Satterfatter. Stay tuned. A former major with the Highway Patrol. What? Her lies. Under oath. She lied under oath. She's a perjurer. A colonel and a perjurer. Wow. Doesn't that just go together? It shouldn't. It ought to be a perjurer and a jailbird. And maybe, I don't know, hope is more important than being realistic sometimes. Maybe we can flip the script, put her in the jail cell next to the governor so they can talk about their crimes and why they shouldn't have done it. Give them a Bible per cell, and they can read it and talk about the consequences of going against Charles Van Morgan. He won't quit. Shut him up. Put him in jail. We done did that. Didn't work. He's yelling louder. He's got truth and he's going with it. It's a powerful thing. Dr. Martin Luther King talked about the truth. It means something. It scares me, Governor Haslam, Governor Lee. It scares me. Satterfatter's probably saying that. Satterfatter, I know where you live, but I'm not afraid. Don't be afraid. I wouldn't dare hurt you or your family. You sent members of your little criminal syndicate to my house. That's how dangerous they are. After they lied about me, defamed me all over the news twice, they sent Major Valor thief, drunk, and workman's comp crook to my house when she was a sergeant to threaten and harass me. And then they sent another trooper to my house, called me on the phone to meet him somewhere to give me a subpoena after they said I wasn't honest enough to testify. I mean, it'd be real funny, except for there's real dead people. There's 16 dead people out there in Middle Tennessee. It's not real funny when you count the bodies, but they are sick, and they are, look it up, criminaloids that have no feeling for life. Criminaloids, look it up, it's a real word. And that's what they are, incentivized, incensed to life and death. They don't care about causing it in the future. So we'll talk about Satterfatter and Major Heatherly now got promoted for lying, and talk about their lies and spell it out in black and white and show you how they've lied under oath. So hang on here with me. We're going to the bridge, and we're gonna well, they have to funnel people because the government failed. People in government power failed. We are the government. They've taken over, and we're gonna get it back from these rogue, crooked thugs. They don't like me to call them thugs. I know that because the second time they turn me down for my law license. The first time I didn't, so it ain't really the reason. They said that I called them thugs, so, you know, they say it hurts right here where you hit me right there. It hurts because you said thugs, so I'm going to tell you, don't say thug, don't call us thugs. So people in Tennessee government power, Satterfatter, Lisa Perlin, the person that rigs up the legal system where she gets her lawyer to represent you, gets the inside story, your confidential. A lawyer in Tennessee is their confidential informant. You don't know, but they informed Lisa Perlin because she sets up who can represent you. Okay, I'll give you a license to go represent so-and-so accused of a crime. Lisa Perlin says that. If you agree to come back and tell us what's going on. Lawyers are confidential informants, double agents. That's right out of sociology book. If you think I'm making this stuff up, look under sociology, look for attorney, double agent. I didn't make that up in my mind. It's a sociological phenomenon that is a way of thinking that is absolutely true. They won't let me be a lawyer because I won't be their double agent. I won't sell out. I won't sell out the Constitution. I won't sell out soldiers that fought and died for your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment right, your Fourth Amendment right, and your Fifth Amendment right. So since I won't sell out, trample on the blood of soldiers that fought for your rights against people in government power. Soldiers ain't fighting for the government in the state of Tennessee or in America. Soldiers ain't fighting for the government. Soldiers are fighting for you, protected from the government. The Constitution. They don't like the Constitution. They hate it. They hate Article 1, Sections 1 and 2. Says it's absurd for us to go along with the criminaloids. Look at the criminaloids. I'm not making that word up either. I know a few things, Satterfatter. I know you're a dirty, fat, smoking liar, perjurer, criminaloid. And worldwide, be 1 million people hear this here pretty soon, Satterfatter. You better watch who you mess with. You're messing with the people all across the United States of America. It ain't funny to step on the Constitution and refuse to protect society. I know you had some social pressure, but the real pressure ought to be on doing what's right. The truth matters. So we'll talk about her, finish the dialogue, tell you her lies. If you want to hear it, stay tuned. And finish up with what we can do about this stuff. So Charles Van Morgan, broadcasting in the morning. Like, share, comment, and hey, I keep asking, not having much luck, but I'll keep trying. Fund the news channel, Unbridled News. You want to hear this anywhere else? You want to keep this going? You want to hear the truth? Unbridled, unafraid. I might need to hire me some armed guards by the time I'm done, because I'm going to put out some real truth that they don't like. And they ought to be going to jails where they ought to go. And they got your government money to help them facilitate lies. And I don't have that. So fund the channel. Fund the channel. Hit the square icon and do what you can to keep me out here. I'll travel across the state talking to people, showing you what they say right there. I mean, we'll show you, like this person here, we'll show you. Hey, you know what happened out here in Bucksnort, Tennessee, about that explosion? You know something the news ain't telling us, or we'll keep you confidential. Tell us what happened. You can even change your voice. We'll go up close and personal on the scene if you will fund the dialogue, fund the truth. Hit the square icon, please, and or at minimum pray for us, God's protection. Hit the Cash App icon. Keep us going with ink, gas to get to some of these places. So right now I got to work another job and help me get Michelle medical insurance. So fund the program, and I'm not just doing this for money, but hey, they got our money, and you can fund this to get the truth out. And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, I'm not a politician. That's why I can't get elected. Right now, we'll keep trying to find the channel, hit the Cash App or the square icon, or subscribe, that helps too. And fund the program, fund the channel. Let's see the comments at the bottom. And old head, you got no emotion. Shut up. You grow powdered mildew. Hayes, Emmett Hayes. Got a lot crying. Okay, Emmett Hayes, conspiracy. No, it's not conspiracy. Where'd you go to college at? I grow cannabis for a living. I'm good. Well, yeah, living in a haze. Got Obama phone just going nuts. Charlie Kirk would still be alive if he had listened to Watog Clan. Protect your neck. Yeah, that's right. I am. Time to get a job. I do have a job. I got several jobs. Stop projecting. Holy yap. Maybe age of I've seen him fall once. Yeah, I have. But I got back up, didn't I? Predator Trump. Trump's not a predator. He's walking because he's got DUIs. No, I don't. Take your medicine and get your old ass to bed. Laughing my LMA. Laughing. I know what that means. I'm smart. That's all right. Jeffrey was at Trump's wedding. Yeah, saying that he's a pedophile, man. Isn't that just disgusting? People just you're losing, so just throw any dirtbag thing in it. Y'all forget I got a degree in sociology with an emphasis in criminology. I know how social forces can cause you to do the wrong thing when it's not justified. So if I'm on the right, your little social pressure and the stupid comments, and there's been studies about that, ain't going to affect me. They actually did a study in 2022 about younger people are more affected by social pressure than older people. And as you can tell, I might be beautiful, but I got a few years on me. Thank the good Lord in heaven. I've been smart enough to survive. And some of you all won't make it to my age because you ain't smart enough. So older people, yes. Older people. And younger people too. But your social pressure doesn't affect the older people because we done lived, we done know. I'm not jumping off that rock. It's too high. I'm not going in that river. There's alligators down there. Younger people jump in and get, whoop. There's people killed in this rock quarry right over here all the time. You don't hear people in their 60s doing that unless they're drunk. Because we don't let social pressure, go ahead, jump, man, it's okay. No, it's not. Don't say that, man. Don't say that's the truth. Because if you do, then I'll badmouth you. Go ahead. Woo. Oh, see this. Okay, got knocked off one. Your gaslighting don't work with me. I'll fight against it. I know what you're doing. So, he went through the Great Depression. No, I didn't. Okay, so Charles Van Moore in the morning, thanks for joining me. We're almost to the bridge. We're going to talk about Satterfatter, the drunk, the buyer, perjurer, the thief. She steals your money through using expert witnesses to facilitate a lie. She improperly uses state money and whatever, and she wears wrinkly uniforms. It's not defamation if it's true. Defamation is false communication disseminated to at least a third person that's false, unprivileged information that's disseminated to at least a third person that tends to lower somebody down in the standing of the community. So it's not defamation if it's truthful. You can say truthful information about people that lowers them in the standing of the community if it's true. So it's not defamation because what I'm telling you is true about her. She's a drunken monkey. She's got in trouble on her job for drinking. And she's a liar. She lied under oath. She's a thief. She stole your tax money to facilitate a lie. And she also was involved in a criminal conspiracy that has raised the fatality rate on Tennessee roadways astronomically. That's Satterfatter and Major Heatherly. Hey, Major, 1 million people listening to me all across the United States. I'm shining a light.
How you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm shining a light. Are you a fan? Watch me on YouTube, man. We're running down the government. Are you a UT student? Hey, keep going, man. I got a degree from there too. So yeah, we got a fan here. So yeah, but that's defamation. So somebody keeps knocking me off. That's all right. We'll keep going. So defamation is false communication disseminated to at least a third person, the lower stand in the community. So I lose people when we go off. But come on back. You ever want to try again? I done told you once, I'm the best it's ever been. Yeah, so anyway, my saying stuff horrible about them, and it's horrible because they did it. I can't help what they did. I'm trying to stop it, point it out. It's horrible what they did. It's horrible the kind of stench that they are. And I'm pointing it out for your protection. So it's not defamation because it's true. You can say truthful stuff about people. I got a law degree. I went to their little rogue schools. So the way they get by with defaming us is they lie about us, but it's privileged. See, defamation is unprivileged, false information disseminated to at least a third person that tends to lower people down the stand of the community, tends to lower them. So if it's true, you can lower them in the stand of the community. If they did it, they might need to be lowered in the stand of the community. And judges lie about you. They disseminate false information. They defame people behind the rogue benches. And it's false. So they would be guilty of defamation. Judges would, Tennessee judges would. Except for the fact that they have given themselves immunity from defamation. Because like I said, read the definition. Defamation is false, unprivileged information that lowers somebody in the stand in the community, disseminate to a third person. So that means you can tell somebody to their face. I can tell Satterfatter to their face with nobody around that I think you're a liar, you lied under oath, you're a thug. And I can say those are true. I can say it because it's true. And I can say some stuff that's not true to her face. But that's not defamation because it has to be disseminated to a third person. So if you're directly speaking to them, nobody else is around, then that's not defamation. I mean, this stuff is real, turns on the facts. So if you tell somebody to the face, nobody else around, something that's false about them, it's not defamation. That doesn't apply here because I'm telling you something that's true. But judges, Tennessee judges, what they do is within the definition of defamation, the legal definition is unprivileged false information that lowers somebody in the stand of the community. Judges have given themselves absolute immunity. They've given themselves a privilege. And that's how they use the crooked judicial system in the state of Tennessee, is they defame you in their legal rulings. They say stuff that's absolutely false, completely outrageously true, against science, law, and facts. But judges, under the absolute privilege, and they do it all the time across Tennessee, read some of their rulings and say, wow, that's probably a dirty lie, facilitating keeping people in power. That's a criminaloid. The judge is. Yeah, that's right. Because they can do that. See, a lot of people don't know this. They think, oh, a judge wrote it. Oh, it's got to be true because it's the law and they got to obey the law. No, they don't. They're immune. They can lie. They can defame people in their judicial rulings and say stuff that's not true, and you can't sue them in any court of law anywhere because judges have absolute immunity if it is something that they're doing from the judicial bench. Now, outside the judicial bench, there was one judge found guilty for firing a lady that didn't have anything to do with his official duties. But if they defame you from the bench and write a lie about you in their ruling, something you didn't do, and put it in a judicial ruling and disseminate it all over, anybody in the world can read their lie. You can't sue them for their lie because it's in a judicial ruling. It's protected. So they've set up judges all across the state of Tennessee to defame people. It's not about judicial rulings, get to the truth and administering justice. It's about protected defamation. Get them elected to judgeships, get them elected to, get them put on the bench, and they can lie for them and put out false stuff. The people that get them elected can't lie about you. You could sue them. Maybe some of them in federal court. So they get a bought judge to lie for them, and there ain't a damn thing you can do except stuff we'll tell you at the end. So I'm just telling you the truth. If you don't like it, lump it. Try to sue a judge. You ain't getting nowhere. It won't work. So let's show you a little bit of my paperwork here and talk about Satterfatter. Thank y'all for joining me. Like, share, comment, contribute. Put a little money in the pot so that I can continue this news channel and tell you the truth that you won't hear anywhere else. And Trump's my boy. Go Trump. I voted for him 3 times. Although Biden wasn't a bad man. See, I'm not going along with anybody's narrative. I go along with the truth. There's some bad things he did I wouldn't agree with. But these politicians, some of them, at least respect the office. It's not only judges who have judicial privilege. It's anyone who gives evidence in the midst of a court case. The only difference is the judge can sanction a witness for perjury. Absolutely right. Blood block. I'm glad you brought that up. That's right. Because if a judge likes the false evidence, then they won't sanction them. And you're right. That's a good point. Thank you. Kudos. You must have a law degree too. That's right. And they use that tactic too in their little corrupt judicial courts that people think are valid and honest. So yeah, thank you. Right, so judges will let people lie, and that's privilege too. That's exactly right. That happens all day, every day in a Tennessee courtroom. Facilitate the dirty lie. Get the weight of law. Put on falsehoods that damage people and damage society. Hey, call it like it is. Who stands on a public sidewalk and calls the judiciary in the state of Tennessee, 99.9% of them, not all of them, there's some honest judges, they can't do nothing about the system, they'll lose their job. They're caught in the wheel, they can't stop. They do the best they can. There's some honest judges, I'll say that. Who stands on a public sidewalk and points out the crooked judiciary that is protected from false information themselves, puts out stuff in rulings, and also protects witnesses that lie under oath and put out false information about somebody. So I got to read more of the comments. Y'all some smart people. Thank you. Yeah, that's it's rigged. It's rigged. Courtrooms are rigged in the state of Tennessee. Some of the worst courtrooms in the nation, in the United States of America. You get some of the horrible, worst, awful falsehoods from the apparent legitimacy of our courtrooms. They're a rogue. That's why they won't let me practice law. They won't have a little truth in there. That's the truth. You won't hear that anywhere else. So let's talk about Satterfatter. The major and the liar. She got promoted. Got an award for stepping over bodies. Got an award for stepping over bodies. Here is a chart of the bodies that she stepped over. You see, there's a chart, graphs that show things. The fatality rate, more people getting killed, up. Less people getting killed, goes down. The Highway Patrol, I'm putting it down for more than half a decade, is on the way down. Less people killed, I arrested people. They fire me, boom, goes back up, lying under oath, uses judges. She literally stepped over bodies to facilitate a dirty lie. Because people to get dead. So here's a graph of that. So in 2004, when I got out on the road for THP, you can see the fatality rate, 2004, down, less people getting killed, spiked a little bit then, and went down. I was on the road, cleaning up the roads in state Tennessee. 2008, got awards for drunk driving. I didn't care. What I cared about is less people getting killed. And then I got fired in 2011, and look at that angle, right back up. She literally got people killed. This is me arresting drunk drivers on the way down. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Less people getting killed on Tennessee roadways. This is their chart. They fire me in 2011. Lowest it's been. Boom, jumps. Continues to rise. That's what Satterfatter did. Stepped over bodies, lead trooper in the state. Even if you don't believe him, give him the benefit of the doubt. He's out saving, protecting lives. So, these people may be in charge, but we know their secrets. And they're dirty. They're a dirty bunch. Dirty bunch of liars. So let's look at Satterfatter, what she did. What the lie she told under oath. And then we'll close this thing out by telling you all what we can do about their dirty. So here's what she did here. Here's her testimony. Captain Sanders. Exhibit. So let's see. 5.3C13. Captain Sanders. Memo to Lieutenant Colonel Wayne Spangler and Major Dean Hurley, December 12, 2011. Sanders. Trooper Morgan pulled over when safe to do so and let his camera run for a short time after terminating this pursuit as required. 411. So she's admitting that I followed the general order. So she's accidentally telling the truth. Let's look what the other captain. So if you tell a lie, keep your lies straight. If this person tells the truth, this person lies, you know, let's keep our lies together. Let's get in a meeting and work out a conspiracy before we start lying, because we'll be all over the place and it's easy to figure out we're lying. Because somebody like Trooper Charles Van Morgan, that's good at getting evidence together to rightfully arrest drunk people to get them off the road to protect society, that's getting evidence together for the right reasons, they're getting evidence together to stop him from protecting you, which is exactly what they're doing to raise the fatality rate, which is sky high right now. So here's what they said. He said here, right here, look at this. This is what another captain said. Interrogation, December 14th, 2014. Morgan, that's the truth, and I'm trying to comply with departmental policy. I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do the best I can. Watch the clock in my car to make sure I get a minute, thinking that, well, let me go back and check after the minute ran out. Dono, is there anything in that general order that would prohibit you once you terminated, okay, you saw this vehicle, you got a glimpse of something, you terminated the pursuit, would anything prevent you from turning around and going back, right back up to where you saw the vehicle and just sit there for a minute looking and say, well, that ain't it, verify? Morgan, I didn't think to do that. Like I said, I dismissed it not being the vehicle, and I did question it, well, just to make sure, got to understand, I'm not sitting there thinking I passed a wreck. So she is saying that pulled over to do so and let his camera run for a short time as required by General Order 47, and he's saying that well, you didn't really comply with General Order 411, the other captain. So two captains got two different perspectives. So one captain's got time after the pursuit to sit around and think, well, how can we figure out, got plenty of time to figure out how Charles Van Morgan in a high-speed pursuit after dark that's risking his own life, that 4 people got killed in pursuits in the United States in 2011. How can we sit here and figure out and frame this in Charles Van Morgan's way? We got plenty of time in this air-conditioned room And we got a gun on. Other officers say, how can we sit here and figure? We got plenty of time to figure out how we can incriminate Charles Van Morgan. When Captain Sanders said, oh, he followed 411, and Captain Donahue, who later went on to be a commissioner of Department of Safety in the investigation unit of the state of Tennessee, because he's the best liar. And we got plenty of time to rig this and say, well, maybe he really didn't comply with 411, so we'll throw that in there. But they clearly say I did comply with it, so I did or I didn't. Get your lies straight. They had plenty of time. I had seconds in the middle of the night, and I wasn't trying to figure out how I can lie. I was just trying to do my job, protect the public, and trying to protect the person that killed herself, even. So, yeah, look how they lie. So she told the truth. And it says here, Captain Sanders admits I followed policy, and Captain Donahue knows that is the policy, is trained to all troopers and in service, but tries to attempt to say that is not how we are trained. Donahue is in direct contradiction with Sanders. 15 years ago, yeah, you're absolutely right. 15 years ago is still ongoing, because a few months ago, because of this, they denied my law license. So this is ongoing. They're blackballing me. They blackballed me then, they're blackballing me today. So don't fight, because a lot of time has elapsed since the criminaloids attacked me. Then let it go. And I would let it go. But it's not about me, it's about you. People got killed because they took me off the road. I just showed you the chart. The fatality rate today is 45% higher because of these lies that are ongoing. So this is not a personal thing. I mean, it says in the Bible that vengeance is God. I get that. It is. Vengeance is God. But if this country's being attacked by Russia, that's personal vengeance is God. If this country's being attacked by Russia, and they start a draft and say, people need to go to war, and people say, no, vengeance is mine. God will take care of us. Vengeance is mine. That was yesterday they attacked us. We're good today. No, that'd be a cop-out. You wouldn't be doing your duty. It's not a personal thing. It's a Tennessee thing. I was a trooper, a government agent protecting you. I was working for you. They're working against you. It's not a personal thing, and time hasn't stopped that. They need to be stopped. They're still in power. So she said that. I released the video to the news media. Tried to insinuate that I released the tape to the news media. When they did an investigation and couldn't determine who released the video. And I can tell you right now, I didn't release the video to the news media. I was following policy just like I did in 411, but she's trying to incriminate me, saying that I released the video. So she lied, trying to put blame on me. She said, this Satterfatter, administrator who backs up sexual pervert and lies on trooper in harm's way, me, who was protecting the public, Satterfatter, while sitting in the safety of an office. Satterfatter. How you doing, Satterfatter? How you doing? So she protected somebody that sexually harassed a woman while in a trooper uniform. In that trooper uniform, a trooper that's now a sergeant sexually harassed a woman at the courthouse. I had to go to the courthouse to get marriage license, and a trooper stand there where he don't have to be, sexually harasses her, and now he gets promoted. So she said that. She said that I didn't use the fire extinguisher properly. That's a lie. I'm at the scene of a major incident. The fire extinguisher don't always, you're concerned about being blown up. She's sitting behind an officer saying he didn't use the fire extinguisher right. Yeah, you get out there, you coward liar. And when you're worried about getting blown up, you do the best you can. And I didn't even have to spray the fire extinguisher. Didn't even have to. The general order says, it don't say you have to get out and spray your fire extinguisher at the base of the fire all the time. It says, at a car fire, to call the fire department. There's no mandate that you have to go up on a car fire and use your fire extinguisher. I did that out of the goodness of my heart to protect lives. She sat in her office and lied because she's a dirty creep, a liar. A major and a THP liar don't trust their investigations. They're flawed. They did that to themselves. She said that I didn't use the fire extinguisher right, when I don't even have to. The general order says call the fire department. That's the first thing I did coming up on the scene. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. And she said I released the video to the news media indicating that I did, that I could have. When their own investigation said they didn't know. So why is she trying to cast blame? She said that I'd been disciplined for arguing with supervisors and arguing with court personnel. My supervisor, while that was going on, gave me all fives on my evaluation. Perfect that I did my job and cooperated with people. And then she went on to lie and say, no, why didn't he put that on my evaluation? Because she's lying. She lied under oath. I didn't get into the supervisors. She was a liar under oath. Major Satterfatter. She said that troopers didn't trust me. She sure must trust me. She was captain over the Knoxville district. They sent me a subpoena after I was fired to go work for free. That's how creepy these people are. They want you to work for them for free. They think you ought to worship them. Hell no, we won't go. And she said that Sergeant Walker didn't trust me. He said that there's no way he could have missed that wreck. Sergeant Walker lied in a report. I don't trust him. There's nothing to mistrust me about. Not seeing a wreck didn't pop out of the scenery in the middle of the night after dark. There's no way they can prove that I did, because I know I didn't. I seen the tail end of it. I didn't see it as a wreck. That's the truth. Sergeant Walker, I don't trust him. He lied in a report. He committed a crime. Sergeant Walker said that the lady looked out her window and seen a car hit a tree. That ain't what the lady said. She said she looked out her window and could not see the wreck. Couldn't see it. It was dark. Couldn't see it. Said it 6 times. So Sergeant Walker lied 6 times in official report. That's what they'll do. They'll write a report just like that. Captain on the scene of that incident in Bucksnort will lie about stuff that's factually not true. They did that to themselves. I'm just telling you. So I could care less. Sergeant Walker doesn't trust me. I don't trust him, and I got a basis for it. He don't have no basis for not mistrust me. How you doing, Sergeant Walker? I know you think you're a tough guy. I'm down here on the bridge. Anytime you feel giddy, we can discuss how you're a dirty liar and how you get your salary. And Michelle doesn't have medical insurance because you're a dirty liar. Maybe we need to talk about that and how you should go down here and turn yourself into the jailhouse now. So, yeah. I just want to point this out. In the Bible, off the topic, I can go anywhere I want, it's my show. Off the topic, people run down my dad. He died before I was 2 years old. John Wesley Morgan was a good man. That's my dad. John Wesley Morgan. He's a good man. He died before I was 2 years old. Wasn't here to protect me. Didn't choose to die. He made a lot of good decisions. He was in the National Guard. Unlike Stacey Heatherly, my dad was in the National Guard. Got an honor discharge from the National Guard. Unlike Stacey Heatherly, that's a major in THP, claims she was in the National Guard. My dad was a good man. I honor my father. People say whatever they want about him, lie, say all kinds of horrible stuff. My dad was a good man. I honor my father and my mother, Geraldine Rogers, and my father was a good man. So we're going to get the heck off here, but we're going to tell you what they did, what we can do about this stuff. Tomorrow we'll talk about who's your daddy. In Tennessee state government, the truth don't matter. It's who's your daddy. That's what matters. your bloodline in your pocketbook. And if you ain't got no money, you know what they say, they want you to take your broke. Yeah, we ain't going home. And so yeah, and also got this is let me cover this up. See this right here. And I know you don't have to have one, but National Guard, joke, yeah, well, run down my dad. Yeah, okay. That's pretty disgusting, run down somebody's dad. You're a disgusting individual. So they took the leading DUI enforcer off the road by their lies. Trooper Charles Van Morgan, Knoxville District, DUI enforcement, 1. Number 1 trooper in the state. There's somebody's boy. Couldn't keep up with me. Charles Van Morgan, DUI enforcement, number 1 on the list. That's an impact on the roads they lied about. So, Major Satterfatter, that morning of the pursuit, even though she had information from Sergeant Walker that a lady on the scene, an eyewitness on the scene, in addition to what I said, didn't see the wreck, lied, said Sergeant Walker didn't trust me. Even though he had information that what I was saying was the truth. So, I mean, the truth don't matter to these thugs. That I was a leading trooper in the Knoxville District, Lord, the fatality rate doesn't matter to Satterfatter. Just step over body, Satterfatter. She watched the video with another female sergeant at the time that went on to lie to be major now. The higher they go, the more they lie. I'm just telling you they're lies. It's true. 14 years ago, they're still lying to this day. The fatality rate skyrocketed. Are you going to say, well, maybe that matters when your head gets knocked up against the windshield by one of these thugs that they let go? Their own heads got knocked up against windshields because the drunk driving problem has gotten so far out of hand because they do nothing about it. They're gluttons. They can hurt themselves. So she investigated the incident, not with my sergeant, with Major Heatherly. Wasn't even assigned, wasn't my supervisor, wasn't assigned my case. So they get this little gossip group together. That's how the highway patrol's run, by a little gossip by women and men and Danny Thomas, the dirtbag that he is. Hey, Danny, you're a tough guy. Talk about beating somebody in the head with your nutstick. Come down here and try to beat me in the head. Yeah, look, hey, I'll block it. That's all I promise. You dirtbag, liar, afraid of the power. You're a chicken. You're a coward. I'm not afraid of you. Michelle don't have medical insurance because of you. There's more drunk drivers on the road because of you. I'm not afraid of you. You ought to be afraid of the truth. It's what you ought to be afraid of, you dirty man. So, and even the former captain that I had, now he didn't cause me any trouble, but he gave me Optimus Club Trooper of the Year when I was leading the whole state, lowering the fatality rate, providing for public safety. That ought to be Trooper of the Year. He gave me Optimus Club Trooper of the Year. Wow. Oh, thank you very much. I didn't care about that. Let me do my job. So this is in, I think, 28. So she goes out and that same morning, watches the video of the pursuit with Sergeant Stacy Heatherly, who wasn't my supervisor, had no business watching it, and they wonder who, and she says, I released the video. Major Stacy Heatherly now released the video to the public. She's the one that did that. She knew the video. She's the one that released it. She violated the law, tampering with evidence. She's a criminal, a major and a criminal, and she didn't have any business watching. What was the major doing watching the video? They're trying to incriminate somebody. That's what they'll do to you in that investigation in Bucksnort. My supervisor didn't think that I was untrustworthy. Sergeant Ronald McDonald gave me all fives after the crash. After it happened, gave me all fives. Knew about it. We talked about it in my evaluation interview. Wanted to know if I needed counseling. And gave me all fives on my evaluation and truthfulness and doing my job. Why was Stacy Heatherly? conducting a covert operation under the major. Why didn't my sergeant investigate it? He's supposed to be, he's the chain of command. Where's their paperwork that said they had a covert operation set up? Donahoe, the one that said, couldn't you have did this in the few seconds that you had to make up your mind, that you don't think about things that I've had days to think about things, you dirty creep. He went on to be the head liar over one of the department agencies. You get promoted for lying in THPP. Donahoe, yeah, I'm just saying, Tennessee Department of Safety, Homeland Security. Don't you feel safe with a liar like that? He's retired now. But they got another liar over the department. So the privileged class is the most, this is right from a textbook, is the most important characteristic of white-collar criminals. But they are also privileged by the respectable work they do. Dirty work consists of jobs or tasks that most people won't carry it out, albeit the work is undesirable, like arresting drunk drivers that pee in your back seat, collecting and processing household trash, or any kind of negative labor examples. In addition to their wealth and propriety and hierarchy, white-collar criminals major heavily occupy privileged positions, captain, in the hierarchy of professions. Thus, when they confront officialdom or mid-level bureaucracies, they receive a polite and sympathetic hearing. They are rarely suspected to gratuitous sanctions and classic commit about their inappropriate behavior, and they stand a reasonable chance of prevailing in all contract less privileged criminals. So yeah, they get by with their crimes. They're criminaloids, crimes of the privileged. And here's what they do. That's what they did to me, and they're doing to you to this day. They, in their incarcerous appearance, the crimes, let's get this straight, the crimes committed by white-collar criminals differ conspicuously from street crimes. The latter type typically are committed by confronting victims, that's street crimes, or entering their homes or businesses to steal. Whereas major crimes of the rich, Capt Satterfatter, Captain Major Heatherly, generally are committed by using guile, deceit, or misrepresentation, the appearance of to create and exploit for illicit advantage the appearance of a routine legitimate transaction. Fraud, which is use of deception, secure, unfair, or unlawful gain, is the core component of many white-collar crimes. So yeah, that's what they do. She was a privileged position, and they lied. They lie to commit crimes. And that's what they did. It's white-collar crimes, not something I'm making up. So what we can do about this is we can head to the polls to vote. Get together in a social movement. We only need 27% of the available votes out there. We can leave, what's that? We can leave 73% of votes that are available on the table. The whole table of votes available. 100%. Out of that 100%, we can leave 73%, or excuse me, 83% laying on the table. There's 100% available of votes available. That is, people are registered to vote that didn't vote, or these are people that aren't registered but are eligible to vote. That's 100%. And also there's some that we can flip, which changes it where it's even better because we're taking away their vote and giving it to us. So that even increases the odds as far as elections in the governor's race. So we only need, out of the available, and this is not talking about flipping their votes. That even brings it way down. We only need 27% of the available. We can leave the other percentage on the table. We ain't even got to get all of them. We got to convince 27% of the available on the table. Over 70%, we can leave it on the table. We ain't got to bother the 70% that we could get. We only have to get out of the 100%. We only get 27%. So that's what we need to do. Need to vote these people out of office. We talked about Satterfatter today, and here's the major now. The move over law, butt cheek 1, butt cheek 2. Move over for my husband, move over for my wife. He's an investigator. He investigates crimes now. Wrecks, where they charge you with a crime. That's a liar that probably stole the evidence and gave it to the news media, and that's her husband. So if he steals evidence, gives it to the news media, rigs a wreck where you're charged with a crime, she's major. Is she going to discipline her husband, take half of her paycheck? No, they want you to move over for the truth and go right up the middle, their butt cheek, and move over. That's what I'm saying. They're wanting you to move that way, he's wanting you to move that way. They want you to go right down, I'm just saying, how stupid are they? So, he investigates wrecks. Do you trust the highway patrol when you got a liar major? They did this to themselves. I didn't do this to them. They did it to themselves. They're liars, and I'm just pointing it out. You can't trust people in government power. Let's get 27% of the available voters out there and show them the business. And I just want to show you this. They took me off the road, lied on me. So we have a mass shooting the other day in a city in Tennessee, not in Tennessee, in another state close by, where somebody shot up a bunch of people, still being investigated. They still haven't found the perp. The policeman go for a perpetrator, see? I got it down. Y'all know that, right? So, seriously, there's shootings going on with people killing people. I done told you about a University of Tennessee police officer that got more guns. They called him the gun magnet. The University of Tennessee people in government power took him off the road, defamed him, fired him for knocking a drunk's hat off, using a distracting technique. And the drunk didn't even complain. Somebody in the department that wanted to get rid of him used that. Conducted a fake investigation from an officer that was investigating him that never got any guns off anybody. Admitted that he didn't do his job. Took him off the road. Makes the University of Tennessee more susceptible to what happened in Utah. So when I was on the road, I arrested more drunk drivers than any trooper in the state. Also got guns off the road. I bet more guns than any trooper in the state. Would have reduced shootings, made it safer. Got guns off people that were convicted felons that shouldn't have had them. So when I was on the road in Knoxville, Knox County, Union County, and Sevier County, Anderson County, the world was safer. I got facts to back it up. It's more dangerous now. I just want to show you this. I lost this for a few days, but I finally found it. This is a evidence log of where I took several guns off somebody that was well armed. Wasn't supposed to have them. Stopped him for going down the road at a high rate of speed, spinning out, drunk, and he had all these guns on him. So I took him away from him. He can't shoot up the place. Not that he would have, I don't know, but I know he wasn't supposed to have these guns. He had He had a Caltech 380. He had a Vermin Ruger 45 caliber. He had a Texas Defender 410. He had a assault rifle 45. He had a Remington 870 shotgun. He had a SKS made in China. I arrested him and got all these guns off of him. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guns off this one person. No, well, I think this other gun here was a gun belonging to well, no, it's the same person. So I took 6 guns off a subject. Less opportunity, and I'm not saying he would have, but he had all those guns on him, wasn't supposed to, was under the influence. So I made the roads safer. I made society safer. Satterfatter made the roads more dangerous. The fatality rate skyrocketed. I showed you the graph. And for lying, making it more dangerous for you, they gave the Knoxville district in 2012 the district of the year. So you lie. We don't care about protecting society. Guns off the road. The fatality rate on the way down from Trooper Morgan. Fatality rate on the way down. Black and white. Guns off the road. Not on the road, in the evidence locker now. Confiscated by Trooper Morgan. Black and white. And they got District of the Year for making it more dangerous for you. We got Trooper Morgan. No, you didn't get me. You got the public. People died that can't come back because of Satterfatter. And her rogue gossiping relationships, smoking cigarettes behind the THPP post with now Major Heatherly. I'm telling you, that's how they run the state patrol. That's not a lie. And they'll try to hurt me for saying that. So let's make sure. I mean, I'm telling you, dirtbag highway patrol. I know one thing, God's not going to strike me down for standing against the Christian governor. So let me say in closing, we'll another broadcast tomorrow. Thank you all so very much for joining in. Another broadcast tomorrow from the bridge where they got to funnel everybody because they got people in government power closed down a bridge. So let's vote them out. We only need 27%. Contact your friends, share the message, contribute. I'm earning the money. Put it in the Square or Cash App to fund me going all over the state and spreading the truth. And I even spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. When they arrested me in Chattanooga, I was handing out a Christian book where all the missing people went. So y'all know, fund the movement. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News, black and white, dirty people in government power that are killing you. What we can do, 27% of available. And less than that, if we flip some people, convince them they're lying to you, is all we need. We can leave a large percentage on the table. So, last thing I always say is, and we'll talk more about Satterfatter, show you some more of her lies tomorrow. Last thing I want to say is, we'll get off here tomorrow. Thank y'all for showing up. God loves you, and I do too. Till tomorrow morning, join us. Thank you.